Lurking in the depths of the forest are beasts multiplying out of control. Growing bolder, they descend to ravage crops, livestock pens, and even threaten the safety of humans and animals. Now, hunters must act swiftly, confronting and neutralizing this menace. Will this battle reclaim the upper hand? Do these marksmen have the grit to take down the ferocious beasts? All will be revealed right now, in moments that will leave you breathless. As dawn broke, Thomas and his professional hunting team arrived at a suspected wild boar location. Upon reaching the site, the team immediately began their search. The pack of hunting dogs quickly picked up a scent, their relentless barking echoing through the air. Thomas rushed forward, certain the prey was close. Sure enough, a wild boar was desperately trying to escape the dog's encirclement. Without hesitation, a precise shot struck the target's body, ending its escape. A triumph for the team, marked right there by the river's edge. At another spot, the seamless coordination among team members quickly led to another victory for the group. They silently maneuvered their boat along the river, patiently tracking signs of their prey. After 10 minutes of rowing, the hunters spotted 2 wild boars wallowing in mud by the riverbank and immediately closed in. A faint noise suddenly alerted the boars, sending them into a panicked sprint. But with seasoned expertise, the hunter didn't let the opportunity slip. No matter how fast the prey moved, it couldn't escape a rifle accustomed to such relentless pursuits. A signal from the team rang out, indicating signs of wild boars in a nearby water channel. The hunters immediately disembarked from the boat, swiftly moving toward the reported location. There they were, 2 wild boars suddenly darted across their line of sight. Rapid gunfire erupted, cutting off the animal's escape. Both boars fell, lying still in the cold ground. The pursuit ended in an instant, with the hunter's precise actions restoring balance between nature and humanity. Moving into the dense thickets, Nick's hunting team left a flawless mark. The group silently encircled the area, securing key positions around the hill. Minutes later, the sound of hunting dogs echoed along the trail, signaling one team member to ready their stance. A massive wild boar suddenly charged out from the underbrush. Instantly, the hunter fired, and the pack of dogs swarmed in. Giving the boar no chance to escape, the hunter swiftly closed in. Then, a final shot rang out, concluding a perfectly executed ambush. At the same time, on the other side of the hill, Nick took position in front of a dense thicket where the hunting dogs signaled the prey's location. And there it was, a wild boar ambled out, completely unaware of the hunter silently lying in wait. A single shot rang out, and the boar collapsed on the spot, without even realizing what had happened. Another precise mark was etched into the history of this hill. A flawless ambush was unfolding at another location. The marksman was poised and ready, waiting for the target to appear. As predicted, moments later, a wild boar quietly emerged from the bushes ahead. He pulled the trigger. The bullet struck true, and the beast collapsed instantly. A swift, clean, and precise takedown. Gunshots echoed throughout, marking the end of a decisive hunting expedition by Nick's team. Thousands of farmlands across the United States are being ravaged by feral hogs. They sweep through like a destructive force, wiping out crops and livestock enclosures, leaving behind barren fields and millions of dollars in damage. But the hunters have stepped in. Every ambush and chase today is part of the fight to reclaim this land. Do they have what it takes to hold the final line of defense? Let's find out right now. The intense chase through the Oklahoma forest marked the opening scene of today's hunt. Jack and his team arrived at the designated location with their skilled hunting dogs. As soon as they got there, the team spread out in different directions, and the dogs immediately took off to follow the scent. After 15 minutes of searching, a familiar signal rang out, indicating that the prey had been found. The whole team rushed to the spot. Hidden in the thick grass, a wild boar was struggling to escape the tightening circle of dogs. Just a moment later, a gunshot rang out. The boar dropped on the spot with no time to flee. At that very moment, A cold and calculated ambush was unfolding, almost as if the hunter had predicted the prey's every move. Mike held his position at a familiar trail choke point, eyes locked on the slightest motion of the brush ahead. Then, a wild boar quietly emerged from the undergrowth. Without hesitation, Mike pulled the trigger the instant it stepped into view. The gunshot rang out, clean and decisive. The beast collapsed on the spot. At the same time, shots echoed from other directions, signaling that more targets have been taken down. Now comes a precision shot that couldn't have been more perfect from the track hunting team. On this trip, Track and his teammates coordinated seamlessly with their elite hunting dogs. The entire team had arrived early and moved straight into their pre-planned positions. Not long after, on the far side of the hill, one of Track's teammates spotted a wild boar being closely pursued by the dogs. Not giving it a chance to fight back, he raised his rifle, took careful aim, and pulled the trigger. With a single shot, the beast dropped, taken down before it could even turn its head. An exceptional marksman. Just one precise move was enough to bring down the prey instantly. Atop the hills of Missouri, a heart-pounding chase was unfolding. Luca's hunting team had just picked up fresh tracks when suddenly, a massive wild boar, easily over 400 pounds, came charging through, its frantic sprint hinting at something it was desperately fleeing from. Without hesitation, the team snapped into position. A barrage of gunfire rang out, each shot tracking the beast's every stride. The chase came to a swift end just beyond a pile of rocks and dirt. One more threat eliminated. Peace restored once again to the hills of Missouri. Wild boars in this area are incredibly cunning. Just a single second, and they vanish without a trace. Finally, the target emerged. It stepped out slowly, unaware that fate was already closing in. Taking perfect aim, Ronnie squeezed the trigger. One shot, clean and quiet, the boar dropped on a bed of dry leaves. A cold, calculated takedown, bringing an eerie end to a silent ambush. As darkness gradually envelopes the Australian sky, wild boars begin their search for food. With their sharp tusks and claws, they tear up the soil, destroying crops and causing millions of dollars in damages to farmers. Hunters from all over converge to fight and restore peace to this land. Will they succeed in their mission? Join us to witness the thrilling moments that follow. A perfect, flawless ambush sets the stage for today's battle. John's team, fully equipped, hops into their trusty vehicle and heads to the hunting ground for tonight. At 6 p.m., they move to their pre-planned position, ready and waiting for their prey to appear. As darkness falls, a lone pig breaks from the herd, foraging right in Jack's line of sight. He swiftly loads his weapon, preparing to pull the trigger. The moment arrives and a shot rings out, striking the animal dead on, bringing it down instantly. The first gunshot echoes, signaling the official start of the hunt. Above the field, another shooter, using infrared binoculars, spotted a lone wild boar wreaking havoc in the middle of the field. Unable to wait any longer, he quickly selected the optimal shooting position and took down the target. Immediately after, consecutive gunshots rang out from all directions, signaling that other threats have been dealt with. The precise, clean, and decisive shots put an end to the danger in this field, restoring its rightful peace, at least for tonight.
One.
A deft and rapid shot was masterfully executed by marksman John. Amid the thick undergrowth, a wild boar stood casually, alert to any stirrings. Through his binoculars, John could clearly discern every detail in the dark of night. With his rifle loaded and ready, John took precise aim. The crack of the shot echoed, felling the prey in an instant, neutralizing any threat that could endanger the local community.
Te agradezco ahí, y esta cacería sí es linda, la verdad, bro.
At the same time, another hunting team had arrived early, tightly surrounding the Queensland field from all directions. 15 minutes passed in silence until the silhouette of a wild boar, busily foraging in the middle of the field, came into view. A marksman from the team carefully aligned the crosshairs and pulled the trigger. A swift, clean shot dropped the prey instantly. Successive shots from other positions echoed across the night field, taking down one boar after another. Swiftly eliminating these destructive pests, the team restored peace to the field. A signal from the edge of the field alerted the team to the presence of a herd of wild boars, prompting them to swiftly move toward the designated area. There they were, 2 wild boars diligently foraging, unaware of Kevin's presence. With his rifle already loaded, Kevin took them down one by one. Each shot felled a boar instantly. Another piece of land was reclaimed from the sharp hooves of these destructive beasts. Hunting in permitted areas not only ensures safety, but also contributes to wildlife management and conservation. Always adhere to regulations, as this is your responsibility to nature. Wild boars, tenacious monsters with razor-sharp tusks and terrifying power, capable of wrecking entire crops in the blink of an eye. They're not just aggressive, they're cunning, slipping through narrow trails and ready to charge when cornered, striking fear into the hearts of farmers. We can't let them continue their rampage. We, the hunters, must act immediately. So how we take down these beasts? Let's find out in this dramatic and intense hunt. Early in the morning, we hit the road, heading toward the base of the mountain in our trusty vehicle. This time, we were joined by well-trained hunting dogs specialized in sniffing out and tracking down wild boars hiding in the terrain. As soon as we arrived, we quickly moved toward the pre-planned hunting spot. Five minutes later, the sudden barking of the hunting dogs echoed through the area. We immediately moved toward the source of the sound. As we arrived, a massive wild boar burst out from the bushes below, desperately fleeing from the dogs on its trail. The moment it broke through the underbrush, I pulled the trigger without hesitation. The boar dropped on the spot, no chance to escape. "15 minutes passed in complete silence. Then suddenly, the hunting dog's barks erupted from deep within the forest. They must have picked up the scent of a wild boar. The sound grew louder and closer. I quickly focused, trying to pinpoint the target's position. There, it was charging out from the thick brush. I aligned my barrel with its movement, then squeezed the trigger. With a thunderous gunshot, the boar collapsed to the ground, unable to take another step. After that clean shot, we quickly moved up the mountain slope. Once again, the hounds barked loudly from the bushes below. We advanced to check the area. Suddenly, the wild boar charged upward, and I didn't hesitate to pull the trigger. The shot was decisive. The boar dropped, motionless, no chance to escape any further. At the foot of the mountain, we also had a team stationed to intercept. They were closing in on a wild boar, trying to hide. Under intense pressure, the boar was forced to abandon its cover. As it burst out, Lucas raised his rifle and locked onto its path. The target was taken down. It didn't take us long to spot the next target, a wild boar being chased out of its hiding place by the hunting dogs. I quickly tracked its path, took aim, and pulled the trigger. The gunshot echoed through the open air, and the boar collapsed, motionless in place. A teammate signaled that one had escaped, so we quickly used our phones to pinpoint its direction. The sound of the hunting dogs echoed from the nearby forest. It was on the run. I raised my rifle, took aim, and pulled the trigger. On our way down the mountain, my hunting dog suddenly started barking loudly. It must have sensed a wild boar nearby. After a brief chase by the dogs, the boar bolted, unaware that someone had been waiting in ambush. And with just a single shot, it was stopped in its tracks. Once again, we swiftly dealt with a threat to the local farmers. Wild boars are no longer just wild animals. They've become invasive threats, feared by humans for their explosive reproduction rates and destruction that's now 3 times greater than ever before. Facing an enemy that's not only growing in numbers but also cunning and fast, we have no choice but to fight back. And today, we're taking you into the heart of the action, where every shot is calculated and every move is timed to perfection. Deep within the rugged forests of Kazilkum, a land of twisting trails and dense underbrush, veteran hunter Mehmet had spent hours scouting the terrain, carefully studying the movement patterns of wild boars before making his move. A faint rustle from the nearby brush instantly put Mehmet on high alert. After more than an hour of patient waiting, a massive boar finally emerged. Without hesitation, he adjusted his scope, held his breath, and with a single shot, the target went down. Wild boars often travel in groups, which meant the others were likely still lurking nearby. Circling the surrounding area, Mehmet quickly spotted them, and just like that, the battle reignited. By the end of the day, he had claimed several more trophies on his hunt. Also in the wild terrain of Kazilkum, Adam experienced a hunting trip that far exceeded expectations. While surveying the area, he spotted a large herd of wild boars moving into his line of sight. And of course, Adam wasn't about to pass up such a golden opportunity. With sharp instincts and years of experience under his belt, not even the craftiest of boars could escape the barrel of his rifle. In another part of the forest, Karam and his team had a plan in place, splitting up to ambush a narrow trail that wild boars frequently used. Earlier in the afternoon, they had set out bait, checked wind direction, and quietly built a small observation post. After hours of tense waiting, the herd finally appeared, cautiously approaching the feeding trough. Just as the boars got distracted by the food, Karam and his team launched a surprise attack. It was a flawless operation. Within seconds, they managed to take down most of the herd. One fast-moving target tried to flee, but the moment it hit the trail, it was dropped by a clean, well-timed shot from one of Karam's teammates. It was the perfect reward for a plan executed with precision and discipline. This takedown is guaranteed to make your heart race. Dry grasslands in the summer are full of hidden dangers. Here, wild boars frequently attack livestock, leaving local farmers struggling to protect their herds. Farouk had set up a lookout post near one of the spots most often raided by these animals. Within just a few minutes, a full-grown boar suddenly emerged from behind a patch of grass. At such close range, there were only seconds to react. Farouk didn't hesitate. He raised his rifle, took aim, and brought it down with a single precise shot. A clean execution, showcasing sharp focus and outstanding skill.
Bravo! Bravo!
In the snowy mountains of Tajikistan, Zuffer faced one of the harshest challenges of all. With temperatures at minus 15 degrees Celsius, fierce winds, and rugged terrain. Do you see it? Look closely. Without sharp observation, you'd easily miss the large, well-fed herd of wild boars hiding behind dry shrubs. Then came a decisive moment. A single, deadly squeeze of the trigger, and the alpha boar dropped on the spot. The rest of the herd panicked, but Zuffer was ready. He had anticipated this moment, and not a single target escaped. The hunts featured in today's video reveal the critical role of strategy, patience, and individual skill. Every shot was the result of careful planning, in-depth terrain analysis, and waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike, just once, but with absolute precision.